Welcome to Q&A with CNA. I'm Kyle Schwartz, and my guest today is Dan Mucci, who last month you were in a different role. You were the host of the show, and you've done that before, and we appreciate that when you can do that. You never know who you're going to get with these programs, right? So why don't we review a little bit about yourself? So tell us a little bit about your background and your role at CNA.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me back. I always enjoy guest hosting when you need me to, so that's no problem. I grew up in Canton, not very far away, went to Glen Oak High School. Didn't travel very far for college, went to Mount Union, great school. My son's over there now. Once I came out of college, I did some journalism. I managed two newspapers. I was the general manager. I even started one, the Jackson Suburbanite. Unfortunately, neither paper's around anymore, just with the trend it's going. Took a sidestep and did some software sales, and then came to my role here at CNA as now I'm the Mission Advancement Director. So I started out as the marketing coordinator under the Mission Advancement Director. Now I oversee the team that does the public relations, manages the social media, writes the grants, and puts on all our great events.
So that's a big role.
Yeah.
Big role. And you have such a diverse staff, and you know I'm sure it's exciting. All right. So one big thing that we wanted to talk about was your recent move of the facility here in Alliance. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So we moved to the Parkway Learning and Development Center. The new address is 1490 Parkway Boulevard. If you are coming to the facility, of course, you know you have to enter on Rock Hill at door number 1. And one of the small changes is a client would have to bring their driver's license the first time they come to the facility, because you have to check in
like
at
any
the
kind
office.
Of a school building.
Right, any kind of a school building. Nothing big, just you have to get a visitor's badge, just like walking into any other school. Then our staff will come down and walk you up to the office, and then everything else will be just as it always was.
And so what facilitated this move? Why did you move there?
Yeah, so we've tested this model out actually in Plain local schools, where our Plain office is located at Glen Oak High School. It seemed to really work with staff being able to pull clients or students into an office setting, but right there at the school. And we also found that clients were a little bit more comfortable coming into sort of a school setting, to a school building. It put them a little bit more at ease. They're more familiar with it, and you're not really walking into an office setting and kind of having some of those, predetermining factors there. So the model has worked well in Plain. An opportunity opened up over here in Alliance, so we took advantage of it. It just seems to be a great model for us.
And how long have you been there?
So actually, we just moved right after Thanksgiving, so really
Not
probably
very long.
2 weeks. So yeah, we're still working out a few of the kinks, but it's still kind of fresh and new.
Okay, all right. So what else is new in the department?
So over the summer, about a couple months ago, we launched a new website design. So we've got some bright new colors up there. It's kind of reorganized, fresh look. I really think the website had been up there when it was first created, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago.
Websites are tricky. Websites are complicated. You just probably wanted to leave it alone for a while.
Yeah, I mean, everything's changing and evolving, but if you go to it, we got some bright new fresh colors up there, some new imagery. It's a little bit easier to navigate, so it looks good there.
Okay.
And then
you have a podcast as well.
We do, so
that's exciting.
It is exciting. It's another great channel to get information out. We're still kind of learning that medium a little bit, but we started it off with our Athletes Strong for Mental Health initiative. And then we're slowly going to start working our clinicians into the podcast. And so, again, it's just a terrific way to get information out to people in a variety of different mediums.
And how often does that change, the podcast?
So right now it's about once a month. As we start to work our clinical staff into it, we'll try to get it up twice a month, maybe 3 times a month. But really, with managing everything else, it's kind of a good pace for us right now.
Yeah, it is a lot. But, all the guests that you've had here over the years, they would all be great on that. They're all so good at what they do and explaining what they do. And
yeah, so that's why we're exploring it. Really, with the Athletes Strong initiative, we were able to kind of build up some broadcasts to initially launch it. And then now we're working into our clinical staff, and as you know, working with their schedules and getting them just to have the time to talk which they're graciously always giving us their time. But like you said, they're very knowledgeable and have a lot of great information. So we'll look forward to keep building on it.
Okay. All right. So you have a lot of events coming up on the horizon at CNA. So I don't know even where to start. So we'll start the annual appeal.
Yes. So the annual appeal will kick off in February 1st to February 29th. Skylar Parks, one of our board members, is going to chair this year's appeal. He is really excited and is going to bring a new dynamic to it. He is very involved in the African American community, and so that will get us a new audience to reach. We're going to try to do a lunch and learn and throw in a couple things. So he's younger, so he's energetic as well. He's probably in his late 20s, early 30s. He wants to use the podcast. He wants to use YouTube. So he's open to the different mediums that reach younger audiences. And so we're really excited to see where he takes this with just some of his creative ideas. And he's brought a lot of energy to it already, and we haven't even kicked it off.
Okay,
so
that's exciting. That's in February.
That starts February 1st. And so if you follow our social media channels or look on our website, there'll be ways to donate, and we'll be alerting people to those different ways. So.
Okay, well, speaking of young people, you also have your Alliance Marlington game.
Yeah, so with our Athletes Strong for Mental Health initiative, Alliance and Marlington have graciously agreed to do a fundraiser during their 2 basketball games this year. So I don't know where the sites are at which time, but the first game is January the 12th, and the second game is February the 9th. And so at halftime, they're going to invite students out from both schools to come out and donate $1 and take a half-court shot. Marlington kids will shoot to one basket. Alliance kids will go to the other basket. If they make a basket, we'll give a gift card or something, but then all the proceeds end up coming to CNA. So it's kind of a fun way, a mini competition to see who can make the most baskets and raise a little funds to help that initiative out a little bit. So.
Okay, so that's at the Alliance Marlington Games in January and February, once here and once at Marlington.
Right, and it's the boys' game, so not that it matters. But.
Right, okay. All right, and then the Jars of Change for Alliance.
Yeah, so during the month of February, which falls during our annual appeal, it's going to be the last 2 weeks in February. So right after President's Day to the end of the month, which we get an extra day in February this year for leap year, so that helps everybody out, right? Or throws everybody off. I don't know. We're going to ask the elementary kids to bring in change and put it in the jar, and then the classroom in each elementary building that raises the most money will either get a donut party or a pizza party. And so this is the second year Alliance has done it, but it's the third year CNA has done it. And we're building on the program a little bit more. So every kid in the elementary school is going to get a positive affirmation chip. So as they donate change into the jar, they're also getting something back to remind them that you're really making a change for positive mental health. And then we're also going to give the teachers over that 2-week period a mental health tip that they can go over with the students every day. It's not going to be a long tip, just maybe 2 or 3 minutes. They can do like as the school day starts, or when they come in for recess, or before lunch, however the teacher wants to work it into it. So really, as we're asking the kids to make that donation, again, we're really saying make a positive change for mental health, and then we're trying to show the kids those different ways to keep positive mental health at the forefront of their day.
Okay, so we're talking specifically in Alliance, but you do these events probably throughout Stark County, right?
We do. So we have 8 partner school districts that we have school-based providers in. And so Alliance and Marlington are 2 of our schools. Marlington is going to do it in May. We just haven't solidified the dates. Plain Local is going to do it right after their spring breaks, around April 8th to April 12th. And Sandy Valley is going to do it in January, right when they came back from Christmas break, like January 8th to 12th. We're also in Tuslaw and Lake, Canton City, and Massillon City schools. But this program, we're just trying to keep grow, and so we keep trying to add a new school every year. and make those changes for all the kids in Stark County.
Okay. Now you have the Mike Flood Endowment, and so you're tying some things in with that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the Mike Flood Endowment, Mike Flood was a board member back in the early 1990s, I should say. I was going to say
Early
1900s, but 1990s, that'd really be a while ago. Through his family, they had some mental health challenges, and so when he left our board to go to Stark Mar and go on their board, he decided when he retired from the Timken Company to start an endowment fund. CNA was the benefactor of that fund. Typically, back in the day, Timken Company gave big rewards to their retirees, and so he did not want like the car or whatever else they gave. But he said, if you throw a retirement party, let's use all the funds to set the seed for the endowment fund. So over the course of the past 20-some years, the endowment fund has grown to about $350,000. Wow. And so this year, we are going to probably do some wine pairing events to raise money for that endowment. And so our first one's going to be a wine pairing in downtown Canton at Grapes in a Glass on February the 6th from 6 to 7:30. There'll be about 35 or 40 tickets available. Tickets are going to be $50, so we're going to start promoting that pretty soon on the website. And then in June, we've really established a great partnership with Ionian. They've done a guest bartending event for the last couple years for us.
Yeah.
But we talked to Brandon over there at Ionian, and he's going to do a beer pairing for us in June. As you know, they maybe you don't know, they create their own beers.
Right.
So they have about 10 or 12, and he's like, I'll pick 3 or 4. I'll pair up the food. Again, 40,
Something
50.
really different, because we don't have a lot of breweries right around this area.
Yeah. And so it's a great little event here in Alliance. Again, about 40 or 50 people. So it feels intimate. So you feel like it's a special, unique thing you're going to. And you're also learning, hey, what goes with this beer? What can do that? And he's very knowledgeable. And then he's going to give a tour of the facility. So,
nice. That's interesting.
I believe, I've heard that that's an old mill that's been in Alliance since the 1800s that they converted. And so he's going to give people a tour. They can kind of see where they make the beers, but then talk a little bit about the history of the building. And you know, they've really modernized the bar part of it, but if you work your way back, you know, to the restrooms and some of the area, you can kind of
tell by
see,
the walls and stuff that it...
And so it should be something neat. And again, unique, special, different than some of the other fundraisers we've done.
Okay, well, lots going on, as usual, lots going on, and they can find out more information on your website, which is, and we'll put it on the screen as well.
childandadolescent.org.
Okay. All right. Well, did I miss anything? Did we?
I don't think so. We've pretty much covered it, I believe.
All right, but they're going to have to go to the website to review.
Right.
All right. Well, thanks, Jan. It's always nice to be with you, other than on the phone.
Right.
All right. Thanks for being with us.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching Q&A with CNA. I'm Kyle Schwarz.